Welcome back to Forbidden Knowledge News. I'm your host, Chris Matthew. Today my guest is Calogero Grifasi. First, a couple of announcements. If you'd like to donate for our upcoming film fundraiser, we have links in the description. Anything is greatly appreciated. Other ways to help, you can watch the Forbidden documentary Occult Louisiana on Tubi, Roku, and other streaming platforms. You can get a Rokfin premium membership at rokfin.com/FKN+. And always remember to download our audio podcast through Spreaker. That's always free for you. Today I want to welcome Calogero Grifasi. He has created a team of virtual hypnosis operators who treat people in a non-medical context to explore consciousness and hidden aspects of paranormal experiences. Calo, welcome. How you doing?
Hello, Chris. I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. This is going to be great. You're involved with fascinating research and work with hypnotherapy that may indicate that each and every human on this planet may at times be heavily influenced by outside or even off-planet intelligences, as well as how we can sever this interference and rely on our own inner consciousness power. This is such an interesting topic, but before we get into this, is your first time on. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and what led you to this research.
Okay, so my name is Calo. Calo is just the short name of Calogero. I'm Italian. Calogero is just an Italian name. And I'm 50, and I started this kind of work with hypnosis just at 40, 39, more or less. So until 40, I didn't know how to do with my life because I was looking for something to do, but I was never satisfied about my works, etc. And I discovered the hypnosis just for casuality, for something for probability, but we know that probability is just not a probability, but just something very precious in the universe. Anyway, I started because I watched some sessions just published in YouTube in 2012, 12 more or less, from a Colombian hypnotherapist, Aurelio Mejia. And I was very impressed about the sessions because his clients underwent into hypnosis and they can visualize past lives, other planets. They talked with extraterrestrial beings in hypnosis. It's just very strange, but very fascinating at the same time. So I continued to follow the session, etc., etc. And I was translated with subtitles the session from Spanish into Italian just for hobby, just because I wanted to know the session to the Italian public, etc., but without any other goal, of course. So I asked the permission to the therapist to do this. It was okay, and I started to translate the session, etc. So I put the sessions with subtitles in Italian, just in my new YouTube channels, and this video started to get visualization, views. Because at that time, YouTube, it was more or less at the start. There was not so many information like today. And so just an hypnosis session was something very rare. And I just was one of the first to put sessions of this kind of hypnosis into YouTube. So for me, it was a boom. It was an exploit. And so just in a few times, in a few weeks or months, I received many requests to have session from Italian people. But at the time, I didn't know how to do a session. I just translated some session of another one therapist, so another one person. So the problem was that the Italians, didn't speak Spanish, just to do a session with him, and the other operator just did session only in presential way, just in his office. So the problem to do the session was this. So I started to do session just for play a game. So I told these people can have a session with him, but just to explore, just to verify, find out if everything could work, etc. But I didn't have any idea how to do. So just for game. And started to copy the induction of Aurelio Mejia, just the way to do the session of Aurelio Mejia. I put some people under hypnosis. They underwent into hypnosis, and I was very surprised. It was very simple, not so difficult to do it. Not all the people, of course, because it depends about the hypnotic susceptibility of the people. So someone can go or can undergo into hypnosis well, other not, other less, other more. It depends. So with these people, underwent into hypnosis, I started to discover many things very interesting. So past lives, of course, lives between lives, and other planets, discover other beings, different beings with other intelligence, other way to communicate, just information very strange, weird, etc. So I started to take confidence with this method, and I felt very comfortable to do this, and I pushed my work a little more. And with time, I transformed this hobby or this game just into a profession, a job, just in a few months. And I just resuming, yeah, of course. And I started just to create a method, a different method, because I discovered many things during these first sessions. So I, yes, created a method. And right now, this method, we the team, me and my team, are doing the session is Calogero Grifasi method, Grifasi's method. So just after I explain what is this method, because if I don't explain first some basic pillar of the hypnosis, we cannot understand what is the Grifasi method, of course. So that's it. This is the start. No, this is the start. I started to work in Italian, of course. After that, I wanted to enlarge my my sphere of action. So I translated some session in my session in Spanish. I started to work in Spanish too, because at the time I lived in Spain, Madrid. So I speak Spanish too. And I started to work into languages. When I started doing Spanish, I was a very big exit, not exit, a very good result, because Spanish people are very numerous in the world, because all the America, almost all the South America, just many people in the United States speak Spanish, Spain, of course, and some other little part of the world. It's not Italian. Italian is a language, a very good language, but just spoken in Italy, in Switzerland, and not I don't know, in other just little town and somewhere, and that's it. So I started to have just months, 2, 3, 4, and 5 months to wait list to do sessions. It was very incredible, very incredible, yes. So I decided to create a team of operator just to have more slots to do session, etc. And not only in Italian, Spanish, but in many other languages. Mm-hmm. Because many people that was following me were following me and were from other countries, from Russia, from France, from Romania, Poland, etc. So they wanted to translate my sessions into their languages, in Polish, in Romanian, in Russian, Lithuanian, French, etc. So after that, we had requested from people to do this in other languages, in French, etc., etc. So we started to do work in these other languages, and I do session right now with translators. I do sessions in French, Poland, Romanian, Russian, Spanish, of course, Italian, etc. And now I started to do in English too. So now I work in 9 languages, I think more or less, and that's it. I'm here. Now I have 11 or 12 years just to do this work every single day. Every single day, I discover many information. I write in a book right now and just recollecting all of my experience and my opinion about this information. And that's it. I'm here now.
Excellent. That's a great introduction. Could you tell us a little bit more about what's different with your method as opposed to hypnotherapy in general?
Of course. Okay, at the start, the problem I noticed just at the start, was that there are two more or less method, more or less just in the extremity. So when you are into a deep hypnosis, you can have communication with other beings, of course. And to solve problems during an hypnotic session, many people is asking help to this being that wants to help the human being. So they work with this being. The being can do something for the person, and in theory, they solve the problem. Okay. The other part of the people is completely pessimistic because they think that there are no good beings and benevolent beings in the space. They are only bad, etc. So we have to pay attention when we are doing this kind of work, etc., etc. So the complete optimist, everything is very good, oh, good God, the light, etc., the universal love, etc. And the other part is just everything is bad, everything is dangerous. For me, it's something strange. Okay, I understand it can be bad and good things, but so extremely and in the middle, what is in the middle? So anyway, I noticed that we have no power at all. We are power. It's a concept very simple, but it's very difficult to understand because the language we use is a little programming in a bad way. Because when you talk, when you speak, we say, for example, I got the power, I have the power, I want the power, as the power is something external to the being, the human being. So when we think something, when we believe in something in our interior, we are creating this concept. So we are doing the thing in that way we believe inside. So when we talk about the power is outside, if we have to get this power, we automatically are separating ourselves from our power that is a part of us, of course. So if you want to solve a problem without if you want to solve a problem just to asking help to another being in another dimension because you think that this being is very powerful and can help you, okay, maybe the being can do something for you, but you are you are giving your power to him. If not, that being cannot do anything to you. It just a borrowing of power. And I noticed that this is a concept that the people didn't understand, and don't understand. So they believe that the other being has done something for them, but no, you gave the power to him just to do this work. And in this way, the result is not so good because you are creating just a relation of dependence. You depend of that being because you are you did an agreement with
so you're saying it's not
way.
necessary to work with external beings because you have the ability to do anything on your own. You have this creative powers within yourself, and by giving away your power to these beings, you're agreeing to at times possibly do things for this being that you're not aware of.
Exactly.
Okay.
So sometimes these beings are doing tricks. They are chasing you, and you can fall in a trap, for
Mm-hmm.
example. So you can have more problems than
Mm.
before, and you don't know. So I discovered that when you do this, the thing just only on your on your own, you can resolve any problem because there is any no interference at all, any interference, anyone. So you are completely 100% you, your power, your energy, your identity. That's it. So in this case, I discovered just the extraterrestrial interference.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
interference, esoteric interference between other beings and the human being here on Earth. But one thing is just the interference, the relation of interference, and another one is the relation of interaction. They are two things different things. The difference is when you give your power to another beings and you don't know that you are power, you don't know about the mechanism of the interference, the other one, the other beings, the other part can use this power just against you to take advantage.
Mm.
Advantage. This is an interference. It's just a
Mm.
violence. The other kind, when you are aware about your power and you want to create a relation with another being just to communicate, just to do something, just to play a game or something, okay, you are completely aware. This is not an interference. That's in a interaction. So it's good. But before to create an interaction, you have to be aware about you, your identity, your power, and that's it. So right now, the people don't understand this, and the majority of the people in the world are interfered,
Mm.
has have interference, esoteric interference. And this interference is the problem of all the problem of their lives, all the problems, physical problems, economic problems, social problems, personal problems, etc.
So let's get deeper into the interference and the nature of this intelligence. Have you discovered anything more about the true nature of what this is? If this is some sort of overarching intelligence that can interact in different ways depending on different people or different needs, or is it different entities that is sort of like an ecosystem of intelligence beyond our perception?
Okay, the interference, the esoteric interference, there are two kinds of esoteric interference, very
Mm.
important. The first one is the human one. So another human can interfere you as a woman.
Mm.
And and the majority of these human are dead humans, this disembodied
Mm.
humans. And the second one is an interference of another kind of beings, not human beings, normally extraterrestrial beings, no? So when, for example, when a person dies, and of course that is dead just the physical body, but the identity of this person is alive, of course. In just another dimension, it can interfere with us. For example, just a very dear person is dead. You are very sad because of this loss, and the other person, just the dead person too, is sad because of the situation. No? In this case, the sadness is just the jointness of the two people just to stay connected, one alive and the other one dead. And the dead, because of the genetical compatibility, because the two people are humans, can stay, can live as a host in the physical body of the alive person. So you, as a live person, can have a disembodied person inside you, in your body, in your stomach, in your back, in your arm, in your head. And this kind of connection, this kind of interference can create problems, physical problems, psychological problems, or other kind of problems. So in this case, in hypnosis, we operate the disconnection so the disembodied person can go away in a very wonderful existence in another process and not stay just there, just in one physical body, like a prisoner, of course, and the other one can set herself or himself free about this interference. For example, a simple adage, for example, can be just an interference because a disembodied man in the head, for example, right? Or other kind of problems, etc. This is one way of interference, or one kind of interference. The other ones, if because other kind of beings, extraterrestrial beings, and the main species can interfere with human beings are beings can have just look like animal on Earth because of the genetical the genetical I don't know the word in English because there is similarity in the genetic. So in the DNA, for example, we can visualize being with a shape like lizards, crocodiles, or snakes, etc. These beings are reptiles on Earth. So the majority of the species can interfere with the human and reptiloids. Beings that have a DNA very similar to the reptiles here on Earth. And these characteristics can give more or less the same characteristics this reptile has on Earth. For example, they need energy. The reptiles need energy. The first energy they need is just the energy of the temperature of the sun. For example, so they need this energy. They have to stay in this under the sun just to receive this energy. They cannot regulate autonomically just the temperature of their body. So they have to stay in the sun. The reptiloids, they need just some energy from other beings, for example, the human beings, just to absorb this energy like sun energy, just to regulate this temperature, this esoteric temperature, for example. But not only this, the reptiloids are very aggressive, very instinctive. They don't have an intelligence like can have other beings. They just have a reptile mind, very simple, very instinctive, just to survive, etc. So these beings are very aggressive. They stay there just to survive, and they attack the human beings just to feed themselves, just to a sexual reproduction. That's it. Only this. So this being is very basic, but they procure a very damage to the human beings because they attach. Is the human beings for them is just food, just food, and this being can be used for another beings and the species of being more intelligent, just as soldiers, just collaborators, etc., etc., etc.
Now,
this is the first species.
These two categories you said are the primary that are affecting us. Are there any other types of intelligences maybe that someone may consider demonic or lower vibrational interdimensional beings? Or is it just these specific extraterrestrial species that you're talking about?
Yeah, I explain now. So the second species that interfere more with the human beings are species with a genetic very similar to the insect on Earth, here on Earth. So they are insectoids. Insectoids are being very, very fascinating because they do many things. But as the reptiloids, they don't have just this mind so improved. They are very instinctive. They are just looking for food and for reproduction. That's it. And we can see in the hypnotic environment many insects like the mantis, for example, or greenhoppers, sometimes arachnoids, spiders, or scorpions, for example. This kind of etherical beings can interfere with the human beings too, just for food and just to reproduce, for reproduction. When I talk about food, I refer they cannot eat us, of course, because we are physical. We are into a physical body. They don't have a physical body. They have a etherical body. So they can feed themselves just with etheric energy. And the part of our body that is etheric is, for example, the emotions. Emotion is energy. So when we produce energy, for example, I don't know, sadness, joy, or fear, or I don't know, guilt feelings, it's energy. In base of the frequency, we modulate this energy. We can create just many kinds of emotions. These emotions are food for them. So the first thing they are looking in the human beings is just the emotions, and not all the emotion, just a category, because the frequency of their metabolism is different of our metabolism. So many things, many emotions that for us are negative, low frequencies, sadness, rage, fear, etc. For them is very good frequency. So they are looking for this kind of frequency. And so this interference is very present just in people with fear inside, with sadness, depression, etc. Very low
Do you
frequencies.
think these extraterrestrials
And
are what people are calling demons, or maybe mistaken as demons?
demons. The demon is just a creator created by religions, because the religion is to have just their
Well,
enemies
that's what I'm
and their
asking.
friends.
Is it just a misunderstanding, and what we're dealing with are these etheric extraterrestrials?
Okay. For example, when you see in hypnosis just a being, maybe at the start you can see just a shape, indefinite, no? And or just you can define just a shape. I can see just a snake, I don't know, or a drake, a dragon, something like that. Okay, but first of all, you have to touch, metaphoric touching the being, so your subliminal part can read the genetic information of this being. It can identify these beings, and you can see exactly what kind of being it is. For example, sometimes it's very often many people in hypnosis can see, for example, my mother, my dead mother, she died just 2 years ago. Oh, mom, how are you? Wait a moment. Maybe it's your mother. Maybe she's your mother. Maybe not. Maybe it's a trick. So before to do something, please identify this being. Identify your mother and tell me if she is your mother for real. So many times it's not the mother. They are just using alteration of the visualization with technology, so they can appear with another shape, etc. So the demon is just one of these beings. He can be a reptiloid, he can be an insectoid, he can be an humanoid, he can be a felinoid, he can be an octopusoid. It depends. But if they are interested to present themselves to a figure that you have in your subconscious, because your religion just inculcated and instilled in your mind this kind of figure, they use the figure just to do something with you. But the demon is just a being. It's just a being. Sometimes, for example, a demon can have, for example, a mixed shape of many animals. For example, just I don't know, just I don't know, many animals. In this case, it can be because many beings are hybrid, because many beings are doing many experiments with the DNA, because they are trying to find the best solution to have the best power, the best body in any dimension. So sometimes many of them are recollecting characteristics of many DNA, and they are creating bodies with the mix of this DNA. Sometimes we can see, for example, a hybrid that Many people can tell me, I'm seeing just a man. It's a man, but the face of this man is just a crocodile. And I can see just wings or just some horns, something like that. This is a hybrid. So you can, for example, explore the DNA of this being, and you can see again, maybe this being just a 6% just reptiloid, 40% humanoid, etc. It can be. So a demon in one of the beasts. Sometimes this beast can be a hybrid, and this hybridation can have the form of a demon. After insectoids, another species, the third one, very important, is the humanoid. Humanoid can be just like a human, a little different. It's a little higher. The skin is very very white, and the hair is blonde, eyes blue, and normally they have a very athletic body. They are divided in masculine and feminine, etc. These beings are very, very intelligent. This being can use reptiloid and insectoid as collaborator. And many times when this reptiloid or insectoid are doing very something with us, experiments or just absorbing energy, etc., many times there are not only them just to do this by themselves, but because they are under a structure of power of hierarchic structures, and at the higher points of this pyramid there are humanoids and or draconians. The dragons, it's another kind of species, very very intelligent, because he's the dragon, for example, is just a mix from reptiloid, just the strength of the reptiloid, the instinct of the reptiloid, and the intelligence of another more evoluted being. There is, for example, a humanoid or the eagle, for example. So the dragon often has wings. The wings is because you can fly higher, you can see everything from higher levels, and you can rule, you can control. It's metaphoric too, of course. For example, the angel in the Christian culture is just a being very evoluted, can fly. But can fly why? Fly because I can stay higher, I can control everything from higher level.
I see.
And so we can find many dragons into hypnotic. You have how to guide an hypnotic session, because it's very hard sometimes just to discover the real boss behind the scenes. So maybe you can see something very simple, something very good, but if you know how to push everything more deep and deep, you can discover that behind the scene there are other beings.
Now,
and
would you say that
dragons,
on a larger scale, in a bigger picture, that some of our very powerful world leaders and those above them that pull strings may be being led by some of these extraterrestrial intelligences?
you mean with the human beings on Earth? See, this is another capital. Yes, another another piece of the puzzle, of course. Okay, we can start about this, of course. So, humanoids are very powerful. Draconians are very powerful. And under, there are reptiloids, there are insectoids, other beings, of course, but it's the majority. But this is in the etherical dimension, not in the physical one. In the physical one, there are humans. There are us as humans, human beings. And they can interfere with the human beings, or they can interact with human beings. So many human beings here on Earth, just very few human beings are aware about this mechanism, the esotericism, etc. So they are interacting with this being. And these human beings are here just because they are the physical hands just to control on earth, just the power, no? Everything you can see, many symbols are just pyramids, are just um, dragons. For example, the symbol, the city of London is the dragon. You can see in London dragon everywhere, for example, no? But if you fix your attention in many things, you can see many symbols of the power in many in the dollar. For example, you can see the pyramid in the eye. This is a symbol of control, of power. And the power is not only physical; it's physical and etherical too. So visible and invisible. So there are a few people aware about this mechanism, and they know and want to do what they are doing. Others are semi-aware, so they know but not at all, etc. And other one are completely unaware about what they are doing. They are just manipulated by the speaking, etc. We are talking about people with many power, of course, because they have to control the system. So, of course, politicals, of course, men of finance, industrials in the industry, etc., etc., etc. And in the world of the music or Hollywood, etc., because of course it's a very strong tool to manipulate people with the information. So these people must stay there just to control the physical structure of the power.
Through your sessions and through all the research and information you've been gathering, did you come across any information about the nature of this human experience? Do these extraterrestrials have a hand in our human evolution, in the human experience overall? Did they tell you anything about the nature of our reality?
You're asking, of course, if everything is so bad, no? But so you are asking me if there is a way to evolve, and many beings can help to evolve the human being. This is more or less the question, no?
And
Okay.
also, did they have a hand in our evolution or even creation? Did they tinker with hominid DNA in our ancient past to make the modern Homo sapiens sapien, things like that? What is the relationship with these beings, and what is the implications of this human experience?
Okay, first of all, I want to say that I'm talking about the bad because my work is just to solve problems. So when a person has a problem and we have to go to discover if the problem has an esoteric cause, and so we are working on it, of course, we don't discover beautiful things. We are going just in the root of the problem. It's not good. It's just something bad because it's just a illness, no? Like a illness. So this is the reason because I'm talking about something that can seem very bad. But in the universe, in the infinite, because everything is infinite, everything exists. So can exist the bad and can exist the good, of course. But we can talk of the good too. But right now we talk just only about the bad. Just one part of the image. So, what is why we live into an ecosystem? The first relation of the ecosystem in the heart. We know the ecosystem in the heart. There are animals that just eat vegetables, animals that eat other animals, etc., etc. So just an ecosystem, just a chain. Okay, but the chain doesn't exist only in the physical world. The chain continues in the etherical world too, in the invisible world too. So the first reason, because this is the system we see, is because a being needs energy from other beings. This is a food chain. This being need energy just to survive and to live. So they are using our energy. The first reason is for food and etc. There is another level because we can be interfered or we can have interaction with these beings. More intelligent beings are not just there just to looking for food, etc. No, they are doing experiments, for example, because they are evolving as we on Earth. We are evolving in many section. For example, in the technology, in every kind of section of science, etc. They too. So they can use human beings just to do experiments as we use animals to do experiments for our technology and science, for example, just for the medicines, just for industry needs, etc. Um, in hypnosis, we can see that in their world, they have cities with laboratories. They have another kind of technology, a different technology than ours. For example, when we talk about extraterrestrial, we imagine that this extraterrestrial come on Earth just with UFO, no? This ship, no? This spaceship. Of course, many people in hypnosis can see themselves into a ship of this, and they can say exactly what they see in the shape. Normally, they can see like something like computers as instruments, laboratories, and room of operations, etc. We can discover many people, human beings, just in these laboratories, just to be operated, just to study human beings, just to implant human beings, just to insert technology in these human beings, etherical human beings, because they want a connection to interfere with the human beings on Earth. So this it's complicated. It's very complex, all the structure. Of course, apart of this, we have other dimension with good frequencies where other beings they don't need just to interfere with other beings. Everything is beautiful. There is no low frequencies of emotion. It's very high frequencies dimension, etc. But just to reach this level, you have to understand that you are power. And when you understand this, every interference disappears and you can just jump, a quantum jump to another frequencies. So when you understand the bad world, you jump in the good world and you can stay in, you can live good, your existence, physical existence, and when you die, of course, the other existence.
So let's talk a little bit more about this inner power and what this is and how it can be utilized. Maybe to what extent you've witnessed this inner human power being used.
For example, when I have a person under hypnosis, this person can tell me that maybe this being is very violent, is using his body just to do experiments, is absorbing energy. So this is the reason because he is very tired in his life, is depressed, etc., etc. And this person doesn't understand because this being is doing this in his body because he doesn't want, no? And I say, no, you are allowing this being to do this. The person doesn't understand. Why the person doesn't understand? Because he is not aware what power is. And I explain the session what is the power. When the person understands what is happening, so everything changes. Example, if you are power, it means that everything you want, everything you think, everything you believe, everything you say, you create. Because you are your space, into your space, everything is moved because of your will, etc. So when a being is doing something in your space, in you, inside you, is because of your power. It's your will. You are giving your power to them just to do this because for a trick. There are many strategies. One of the strategies can be this, for example. The being, the reptiloid, the insectoid, the humanoid, or any kind of beings, can tell you that, for example, you are going to die. I don't know, many things. It doesn't matter what kind of things they can tell you. But if you believe everything they say, you are creating these things inside you. So you are creating something for them. The interest of them is just to make you to believe something so you can create the something for them and against you. This is the trick. And for example, just the last session I did, a, um, a child, a 12 child, told me that when she just was crossing just in a road where a church was there, she felt just a strange energy. Okay, but when he analyzed this energy, this situation under hypnosis, we saw that a being was talking to her mentally in a subliminal conversation. Subliminal, eh? So you are not aware of what is happening, but inside you is happening something. So the conversation is this. Okay, remember, you promised me that you have to help me. Now I need your help. You have to give me your help. No, I don't know you. I don't have you to, I don't remember. I don't remember I promised that. I don't want. Yes, you remember it. You have to maintain your word, for example. If the person is a little hard just to convince, it doesn't matter. At the final, this being just told this being, okay, so if you don't help me, I'm going to kill your parents. So if you want to stay with your parents, happy with your parents, leave your parents happy, you have to help me. So the child just believed to this being. So started to create fear. No, my parents, no, please, don't do it. Okay, what do you need? Okay, I'm here. Tell me. So in this case, you are giving permission. Okay, what I have to do? Okay, you are giving your power to them. You are giving permission to stay in your space. This is the trick just the church, the religion is using on you. For example, what the religion is telling you, okay, you have to open your heart to Christ. So you have to stay on your knees just to ask for forgiveness because you are a sin, etc. So if you believe that you have a sin, are a sinner, and you are asking forgiveness to be forgiven because of Christ, okay, you are opening your heart, you are opening your space to this being. This being can present themselves as a Christ, as an angel, or a devil. It depends on the situation, but you are giving permission. So everything is done on earth. Just the religion, for example, the religion is just one of the destruction of the power, and the power is on not only in the physical world but in the etherical too. The religion is just the perfect example because power between the invisible world and the visible one. And there's not only the church.
Well, yeah, you can look at
political,
all of our
economics, etc.
quote-unquote systems, education, political, healthcare, and there's a parasitic, anti-human nature to the foundation of those systems. You can see it in but especially religion. It seems like it was designed to keep us from accessing that inner power.
Of course. In religion, a different religion in the world. Why? Because there is the Christian religion, the other kind of religion. Why? Just to create conflict. Because the base of the control is the conflict. They have to create just bad energy. Divide et impera. Divide and control. Because we right now we are assisting the world just war for religion, for identity. Religion, because of God, no? And so I lost myself because I talk about many things. I don't understand where I
Oh,
start.
that's okay. We
So
were
I was talking
talking
about
about the creation of religion and how it's used to suppress our
mm,
inner power. Maybe we could talk about the extent that this inner power can be used. What have you witnessed,
yeah,
and
yeah.
how far can it go, especially for healing aspects and modalities for our consciousness exploration?
So, for example, at this side, I told her, no, don't believe in him because he's a liar. He's a liar, liar. Sorry. So he cannot kill your
Mm.
parents. He can't. So don't believe in it because if you believe in them, you are creating the situation. This is the reason because you are interfered of the being because this being is doing something in you and you are suffering about that because you gave permission to them. Here right now is in you because you open the space because of this lie. So now you came back in time because when you are in the hypnotic environment, you can go back in time. This is because the name of regressive hypnosis or past life regression. So we went back in time, and the child just didn't give any more space, didn't believe to this being, and everything was solved. The interference disappeared completely, and the problem of this child just disappeared. Bueno, actually, one of the problem about all this interference is because this 12 child was diagnosed with diabetes. So we discovered that the diabetes just a response, a simulation. It just was yeah, a simulation of the body. So the body created this illness because of this esoteric
Mm.
interference. So there are something that you can solve completely, something just partially. Sometimes the illness is very in the material. It's very hard. Maybe you can live with this problem, but you cannot. You don't have just anymore just the esoteric reason. So everything is going better and better, of course. And so when the person understands that he is power, she is power, everything changed because everything changed position. For example, I can say, now you have to tell this being just to stay in front of you, on his knees,
Mm.
for example. What are you seeing? Oh, it's incredible. This being is on his knees in front of me.
Mm.
Huh? You see? He is obligated just to obey you because he's in your space. It means that he is under your power. You can dominate it. Because if you are not aware about your power, it's like this power doesn't exist. The example I do in every situation is this: a man is very very rich. This man has many money in the bank, but he doesn't know. So his life is a poor life. But in the moment when he discovers the money on the bank, the power, the energy in his own, his life changed completely. So he can do everything he wants. He doesn't depend on any boss, etc.
Mm.
So completely the life change. So when you discover your money, your power, your energy, you yourself, hmm, your life change. You don't depend to any beings. You do the life, you create the life you want. It's incredible. The life of people change completely when they understand their power, that they are power. And the interference, the esoteric interference disappears at all.
Would you say that most of the physical illnesses and disease we experience comes from these etheric interference?
Many of these beings, the
Illness,
illness, you
yes.
mean? Huh? See, sometimes the body can, what is the right word? assimilate this energy and create something physical. It can be, for example, an illness, for example, or something very superficial, just no, I don't know, something you can touch, for example. This is the reason because many people say that they see or can feel just implants in their body. Because these beings, when they interfere with people, normally they has to use a technology just for the connection. Because, for example, when an interference is between humans, a dead person and an alive one, there is no technology through them because the genetic compatibility is completely 100%. They are humans. So as a human soul is just done just to live into a human body. So it's very simple for a human dead just to stay as a host in another live human body. Okay, but in case of other kind of extraterrestrial beings, the DNA is completely different and there is no compatibility. They need just the word is a technology just to join. So this is the reason because in hypnosis we can see in our body some technology, etherical technology. So implants, devices, etc. The function of these devices it depends. There are many way to work for just recollect information, just to absorb energy, just to for output or input of energy or information, or just to control mental control, emotional control, sexual control. Because another very important issue of this interference is the sexual energy and the problems it can create in our lives. For example, many people just ask for a session because they are trying to have children, sons, but they can't. Everything is good. She is good. He is good. Everything is good. Physical, they are good, but there is no reason because they are attempting to do to procreate it. They can't. In hypnosis, we can see that these beings are interfering. For example, the woman, because they are creating with her in the etherical. They are using her uterus, her sexual energy just to feed they, for example, embryos or eggs, etherical ones, of course, just inside the belly of the woman. So in this case, the body cannot get pregnant. Why? Because, for example, if they are installed into a uterus, just eggs or embryos, the body can understand that is pregnant. So the hormonal balance change as a woman in pregnancy. So cannot get another pregnancy. For example, many women cannot have just menstruations without any reason. And maybe after some months can appear again, to disappear again after another kind of lot of ones, etc. Why? Because some experience done regularly in some part of the year, for example. And this is the reason because they can block the fertility in the physical world of a woman just because they are using this woman to make to reproduce themselves in etherical inside the uterus of the woman. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But well, we see many things of that. Oh, they can use the sperm of the etherical part of the sperm of the man just to create hybridation in their laboratories. So in this case, the men can have problems with the fertility or just for libido, etc., etc. So this is another kind of problem. One of the most problem we find we found into the sessions. One of the most.
That's very interesting.
For example.
Now, one more thing before we close out today. You mentioned that a lot of the interference comes from disincarnate human spirits. Do you think that the afterlife, the human afterlife, is connected to these extraterrestrial realms in any way?
Yeah, it can be, of course, not at all, but it can be. And in many times, they are used as intermediaries between the beings alive on Earth. Because if a disembodied person is compatible genetically with another live person on Earth, can get a connection without any kind of technology. But so in this case, you can trap just the disembodied man just to trap another human alive on Earth, for example, like an intermediary. Another thing is very, very important. This being can control the cycle of reincarnation. So when a person dies and enter into a cycle of reincarnation, he can get reincarnated on Earth again, and this being can control this reincarnation. So they create karma, the classic word karma, where you have to repeat something because you have to understand, you have to learn the lesson. So if you did this, so now your life is going to have this. Sorry. You have to live this experience because you have to learn the lesson, etc., etc. And every person on earth is suffering so much because of the karma. The karma is just a contract. It's just something you believe, so you create. It's just a pact, just an agreement you do with this being, and they can control their incarnation. They need you to be reincarnated, suffering on earth, because they need your energy of suffering. The energy of suffering, is petrol, is electricity, is energy for them. They use your sadness. They need your anger. Sorry, they use your fear, guilt feelings, anxiety, depression, etc., etc. So they have to maintain the people all over the world in these frequencies. This is the reason, because the world is just a very bad world, if we can see in this perspective. Wars, always wars, preoccupation, worries, economics, crisis, epidemic, pandemics, etc. It's just a tool of control. You have to stay in fear. When you have fear, you can be controlled. If you are aware of your power, you are free. This is the reason, because when we get reincarnated on Earth, we forget everything. We don't know where we stayed before was born. This is the reason. They delete any information, any memory of you. You can recover this memory, of course, with hypnosis, but you don't know what happened to you just before to stay alive here on Earth, because you don't have any information of you. Because you don't need to know that you are power. If you discover your power yourself, you are out of control.
Now, there's many that believe that this era that we're in is very special in a sense that we are becoming aware that we've been under this level of control and we're awakening in a sense, and this could be a game changer for the human experience the more we become aware of this. Do you think we're entering this critical time where things may change?
Yes, of course. If a person can understand completely a session, he can be aware of his power. You can see that your life is changing step by step. Of course, not from now and tomorrow, of course, because there is a process. But you can see that when you understand your power, everything changed, because your behavior changed, your mentally changed, everything changed. The way you create with other person, the way you co-create with other person, the society changed, because you understand many, many things. You understand the game of the power. You understand why many things are happening. So you are going to create your happiness, your lives. So you in your life can create, like, for example, if a person is aware, start to be aware from his 20, of course, when he's 30, 40, and 50, of course, can be create a very good life. He's happy, his family is happy, everything is going in economy, everything is good. In they do the life they want to do, etc., because they understood. So it's very important. They are free. They are free. They don't feel anxiety of this. The many people on earth is completely in depression, in anxiety, etc. Do you know how many people in under depression, in under uh, psycho
Pharmaceuticals, yeah.
medicaments? So, yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's ridiculous.
So,
It's terrible.
in Occident, for example, United States, Europe is full of these people because the system wants you in this
Yeah.
way. You have to stay this
Yes.
way under medicine, under chemical, because the chemical, the medicines can alterate your physical chemical. So in this case, you can be more simple to be controlled from the theoretical system too.
Yeah.
This is the reason, because for me the last pandemic was a very incredible strategies to make more
Yeah.
control on earth. It's incredible.
Yes. Yeah, this is great information. Thank you so much, Calo. We're going to have to do this again. There's much more we can discuss. Before you go today, let the audience know how they can find out more about yourself and what you're offering.
Okay, I can do sessions, of course. I can do sessions in many languages. So I repeat, in Italian, Spanish, English, Russian, Polish, Romanian, Lithuanian, German, and Portuguese, etc. I can do session with translator or not, it depends. But you can do session in your own language without translator, because we have native speakers in any language. So not in English. In English, no, already no. Not yet, sorry, but yes, in other languages. I have many channels on YouTube. The channels are divided by languages. So Calogero, Grifasi, hypnosis in various languages. In Facebook, I have pages divided for languages too. We have presence in Instagram too, etc. So if you digit on Google Calogero Grifasi, you can see anything, enormous page, channels, etc., etc. We are in Telegram too, etc., etc. What we offer, so session, of course, session. The session can be done directly with a person or directly, but with another person as a support person, can go very, very deep into hypnosis. So I can do the session with the two people. So where the other person cannot reach because the hypnotic susceptibility is not so strong, I can work with the other people too at the same time. We can offer training course too, just to do hypnosis in the Grifasi method. We have an academy where after the training course, you can do the course completely online, and after that, you can participate in the academy days where people can make you do practice with other people, hypnosis, repeat theory, etc. We do session of investigations, not only to solve problems to personal to other people, but just investigation, just investigating. Every week we have a theme of investigation. So there are other YouTube channels just only for investigations. Calogero Grifasi investigations in many, many languages. You can retrieve many kinds of themes just explored under hypnosis for many, many people, different people.
Excellent.
So in this website, in 9 languages, you can have many information, and you can have just the best information to understand every kind of work we do.
Perfect. Calo, thank you so much. Like I said, we'll definitely have to do this again. And until next time, everyone, have an excellent evening. We will be talking again tomorrow, and we'll see y'all then.